So, talking Magic, and I could go over the other Magic other cards that got spoiled from Ixalan when the set got fully revealed, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to talk about a character that was revealed not in this week's story, but last week's story. Angrath, or Angrath, depending how you're going to pronounce the name. Now, Angrath is a Minotaur Planeswalker from an unknown plane. He planeswalked this plane at one point and got stuck on the plane due to the nature of Ixalan. Something about Ixalan binds planeswalkers there. And something about the Immortal Sun, whatever is going to be, is able to let them travel back to Ixalan or travel out of Ixalan. Something about the Golden City is going to let them leave the plane. It's probably going to be the end game. But no, what we're talking about is, who is he? What is his color pairing? What is his card possibly going to do? Because we have him only on one card in reference. We have him referenced in two cards. One is like Angrath's Marauders, and one is Dragon Skull Summon to reprint, which excuse me. Ooh. I had dinner a little while ago, just came back up on me. He's Angrath's Marauders, Dragon Skull Summon. He's got was actually the first text we had of him, and we have a card. I think it's like Unbridled Fury or something like the name of the card is, where we see him actually like throwing his chains around and talks about how. Oh, excuse me again. Wow. And actually talks about how he's kind of bound to the plane he wants out. We also get in the story and on the card, he's got kind of a Ghost Rider ability with flaming chains. So that's kind of cool. How that would play into his card, I have no idea. But let's kind of break him down a little bit. Now, his home or plane of origin, first off, we know it has to be a plane that actually has Minotaurs in it. So I don't believe Mirrodin had any Minotaurs, as far as I know. We know Innistrad doesn't. I'm trying to think of all the other planes he'd been to recently. Kaladesh didn't, so that's a no. Neither Lorwyn or / Morningtide have Minotaurs, to the best of my knowledge. All the other planes have Minotaurs in some capacity. And then you have to look at the style of Minotaur he seems to be. He doesn't seem to be, and also thinking of the Minotaurs and how they exist in the planes in general. Theros, I'm going to say, is right out. He's not from Theros. He's, while the Minotaurs there are sentient beings, they're not like articulate. They're very cavemanish, very brutish. So yeah, they're not the sharpest tools in the shed there. So that plane's right out. Oh, and Tarkir also does not have Minotaurs to the best of my knowledge, so take Tarkir out of there. So then going into some of the other planes that we know have Minotaurs, he doesn't seem to fit the motif of a Minotaur from the plane of Zendikar. Those are, again, pretty... Not that you can't have Minotaurs from that plane who are more sentient, and Domino's just having a little fun with a shoe that we let her not chew on, even though I'm somewhat against letting her do that, but whatever. Keeps her happy, keeps her quiet. So, yeah, Zendikar is kind of falls into the same area, kind of the same motif as Theros, but not the same effects. You can have more intelligent Minotaurs on that plane. But again, he doesn't, to me, fit a Zendikar Minotaur. Nor does he fit really any, like a Alaran Minotaur. If I were to really just put my guess on what plane he might be from, assuming he's not from a plane we haven't been to yet, like Roth or Ragatheth. That plane Lily Chandra planeswalked to. Assuming he's not from a plane we haven't been to, I'm gonna guess that he's probably either a Ravnican Minotaur or a Dominarian Minotaur, and I'm gonna lean towards the Dominarian Minotaur. I think it just, because we're leading into a return to Dominaria coming after this block, I think that just makes a bit more sense. I think it ties in a little bit better. So I'm going with the theory that a lot of people seem to be going with, that he's from Dominaria originally. Now, what is his color patterns? Well, a lot of people, or color identity, Well, a lot of people seem to think because of Dragon Skull Summit being a land that taps for black and red mana, he's going to be a black-red Planeswalker. And I'm inclined to agree, but not because of the Dragon Skull Summit card. Silly pop up. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, but not because of that. I'm inclined to agree because while Minotaurs have actually branched into every color, believe it or not, there is a Minotaur in every color. Not mono, mind you, but there are. Red is the bread and butter color, but there are green Minotaurs. They branch into red-green, usually to dual color. There are solid black Minotaurs. There are solid white Minotaurs. And there is at least one red-blue Minotaur who's an artifact creature, who's an artificer. And I actually have 2 copies of him. He's an interesting guy. He lets you cascade. But the reason I go black-red is because, one, red seems to be the very standard color Minotaurs have, and he's using fire in his techniques, so red seems to make sense for his base color. But black also seems to be very likely because, not because of anything the Dragon Skull Summit showed, but because, one, black is usually the second most common color you'll end up seeing a Minotaur in. Theros really kind of hammered that in. But because when you're looking at color identity, it all depends on what their techniques are. Like, you're almost never going to see a Pyromancer outside of red, as far as I can tell. But it also depends on how they identify themselves, their personality traits, how they morally see themselves. And this character is clearly out for his own end, clearly selfish. He's a pirate, for God's sake. Same kind of like how Vraska is green-black. She's out for herself. But, and a little sidetrack here real quick, Domino. I gotta remind my dad not to leave the butter out. She keeps trying to lick the butter on the counter. You silly puppy, that's our butter. You Domino. It's like, I want to be on camera. See, now you're on camera, Domino. Say hi to the crowd. If you've read the story in this week's story, I get a strong inclination that we might have a love romance triangle between Liliana and Jace and Vraska, because we actually get a real insight into Vraska's character. And while she's an antagonist to some degree, she actually is not really. I mean, she's an assassin. She kills people. She's a Gorgon, yeah, but she's not a terrible person, actually, when you break down her backstory that we learned a bit in the newest story. Vraska's actually kind of a sympathetic character with an overall good goal in mind. Granted, she goes about trying to complete that goal for people in nefarious and probably, illegal and wrong ways to go about things. But she actually doesn't have a bad goal in mind. A goal that's, somewhat self-centered, not detrimental to others. If anything, it's going to help people in her guild. She wants to become the guild leader of the Golgari is what it is. So I find it interesting we get that much backstory on her. It's that we have a somewhat positive green-black character. I think that's kind of cool. And from the way we can see them interacting with each other, I do think there's going to be maybe a little bit of a romance between Vraska and Jace, but who knows? I don't know if they'll really write that kind of stuff in. Now, in terms of what his card, first off, he's going to show up in the second set. That's a given. That's just a given. You introduce this guy on the plane. He's a Planeswalker. He's going to be in the second set. It's just that's the way it is. Now, that said, what is this card going to do? That's a crapshoot of a guess because we just don't know. We don't know. Now, if I were to just guess things like mana cost, loyalty, things along those lines, he's going to start with, and I'm just throwing numbers out here, best of my guess. He's a big meaty creature. He's a character. He's a Minotaur, so he's probably going to have a decent mana cost, probably somewhere in the 5 to 6 range. Hell, maybe 4, maybe, but that would be pushing. Excuse me. Oh, that'd be pushing it. I'd say about the 5 to 6 range. I'll just even it out of 5. He'll be 1 black, 1 red, and then the remainder will be just 3 of any color. His loyalty 4, maybe a 5. I don't see it being any larger than that. And then his abilities. Oh God, see that's one of those things that I couldn't really. I can say that he's not going to produce tokens. Producing tokens seems to stay almost predominantly with the white, green, and Well, almost probably. It's branched out certainly into other colors, but the white, the green, and the blue walkers are all the ones that really seem to be the main ones that produce tokens. Though the Liliana is obviously an exception to that rule when it comes to black walkers for obvious reasons, and Soren lead it into white after a while, so that doesn't count. Red on its own anyway doesn't really do the tokens as far as I can tell. I mean, you don't see any like elementals being made with Chandra's abilities. Karn turned mountains into lands. He didn't make creature tokens. Tybalt was not in that design frame either. Can't think. I don't think we had any other mono red planeswalkers really. I mean, we had that that Kriko guy, not Kriko. That Goblin Artificer guy from the Commander set. But I don't even. I think he might have made some tokens, but I think he was like a kind of exception to the rule. Yeah, red really doesn't do tokens. Black really doesn't do tokens. Does a little bit more often, but black really doesn't. At least when it comes to planeswalkers. So I don't see him doing like what Vraska does, making like a crew member with Menace or something like that. I don't see like a pirate token being made. What I do see is he's gonna definitely deal like actual damage to either a player or a creature or both. With the chains, I think he's gonna have a creature destruction effect or some sort of destruction effect, and then I think he's gonna have some sort of board wipe effect. I think that's the way it's gonna somehow break down. I couldn't really begin to tell you how. It's just a very basic guess on this guy, but no, it's cool that we got a Minotaur Planeswalker. I think eventually we will see a Sphinx Planeswalker. I think that's going to happen because Rosewater said that I think it probably will eventually happen. One of those things that's going to come to light of Sphinx Planeswalker. But no, yeah, I look forward to seeing what this guy looks like. Plus, whoever that last Planeswalker we're going to get in the next set is going to be, because we're probably going to get another Planeswalker, and maybe it's going to be one of Bolas's contacts. That guy who's going there to meet Vraska and get the thing. It better not be Tezzeret, because there's no reason for Tezzeret to be in this set, because, yeah, I didn't know. No. Actually, that's a good question. Seeing as he's almost certainly going to be a black-red Planeswalker, what is the color identity of the last Planeswalker going to be? Assuming we get one, which I assume we will. So he probably won't be a red or a black card. So that just leaves green, white, and blue. I mean, could Tamio show up again? Or Tamio, I suppose is how you pronounce her name. Maybe it's possible. I'm not going to discount it. I'm not going to count it out. Absolutely not. In fact, Tamio could be a very plausible character to show back up to kind of revitalize Jace's memory, assuming it doesn't get revitalized on its own, which it probably will. But also, one more theory before I let you go there, and this has nothing to do with Angrath. It has to do with Vraska. Because it's clear that her and Jace are going to have at least a very strong connection or relationship going forward. Do you think it's possible that when Jace regains his memories, and he will, that he's able to combine? Basically, it's a combination of what he remembers about himself, all those memories coming back, and all the experiences he had with Vraska, understanding that maybe Voss is going to eventually play you in the end, blah blah blah, so forth and so on. Her kind of understanding this and eventually agreeing, Jace, that, if you can help me just do this, I will help you against Bolas and against the evils. Do you think Vraska would join the Gatewatch? Do you think we could get an Oath of Vraska? I wouldn't discount it completely. I mean, we have no way to know for certain until we actually read the story more and see like the cards coming out. But I think there's a possibility we could see an Oath of Vraska. I think that's possible. But, if you think differently, that's cool. Let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put it in the comments below. Let us know. We'll review of it at some point. Ideas of who would win, Star Wars, superhero, magic, what if. Anything I do on the channel, put that in comments below, too. I'll get to it at some point. Be back a little later with who would win. So thanks for watching.